What's up, everyone? I'm Drea, and welcome to another very opinionated review. So it's been taking me a long time to finish some anime, but I'm getting around to it. So literally, as I'm recording this, I just finished saving 80,000 gold in another world for my retirement. Now, my rule with isekai is the longer the title, the more likely I am to watch it. So, of course, I watched this one. And it's really good. Now, something that I am going to stop doing for anime reviews is I'm going to kind of stop nitpicking at animation. If animation is like really stellar, I'll point it out. But if it's not, I'm not going to nitpick it because if you don't know, animators in Japan are criminally underpaid right now, and they're doing the best that they possibly can. That being said, yeah, the animation is not great, but it's still a great series. It's about this girl whose entire family dies in an accident and she's left completely alone. She falls off a cliff and finds herself in another world. And a god gives her the ability to teleport between those two worlds. So she's like, well, I'm going to save some money for my retirement. And the best amount is 80,000 gold. So she does this by, going back and forth between other worlds, and she like brings in goods from Japan, like things that don't cost a lot. She straight up gets stuff from the dollar store. It's pretty funny. It's a funny series, and it has a lot of fun characters, and I really love Mitsuha, the main character. She's kind of sadistic in a really fun way, and I really do recommend the series. It's fantastic. It's only 12 episodes long, and I think it's like that's it. It's only 12 episodes because the last episode seemed pretty final. And you can watch all 12 of those episodes on Crunchyroll. I highly recommend it, especially if you're a fan of a different sort of isekai. What's up, everyone? I'm Drea, and welcome to another very opinionated review. So, I did not have any expectations for Spy Classroom. I just knew it was probably going to be one of those slightly edgy, cute girls doing cute things type of anime. One of those that imitates Gunslinger Girl, but doesn't understand that Gunslinger Girl is not a cute girl doing cute things anime. But I decided to watch it anyway. And it's fine. The first episode was kind of boring until right at the end, and it did pick up from there. It's about a group of spy girls who are basically failures at their school because they don't really excel in anything but their one special skill. They're taken to a mansion to train for kind of an impossible mission. They literally call it an impossible mission. And it's all very tropey and basic. And that's not saying it's bad, because it's not. At least the first 3 episodes aren't bad. I ultimately ended my watch through of it, mostly because I wanted to devote my time to better anime. But it's gonna be on my hold list on my anime list for a while, until I get, the urge to watch it again, or any of the other 100 or so series in that list. You can watch all of Spy Classroom on High Dive, if you want. Honestly, there's better things out there. So I've been meaning to do this for a while, but I want to talk about anime eras. And this is just kind of my version of anime eras. So take it with a grain of salt. It's just based on my experiences. So I separate the anime era, specifically in North America, into 6 different waves. So the first wave, we have like the 60s and 70s, which is like Astro Boy, Speed Racer, all of those older ones that our parents grew up with, but they didn't really know it was anime. The second wave is what I'll call the niche era, but they also had Transformers. This was when you had a lot of English language OVAs and stuff put out by ADV. And then we have the third wave, which is what my generation mostly grew up with. That was the Pokemon era. That was the first big 3. That was when everybody was starting to get into anime. And then we have the fourth wave, which was like Inuyasha, Death Note, all the stuff coming out on Toonami and Adult Swim, the stuff that really got us into anime and kept us there. Then we have the fifth wave, which was kind of the time of SAO and Attack on Titan. That was the rise of anime streaming, where all of a sudden it became just so much more accessible. And right now we are in the sixth wave, where anime is not quite mainstream yet, but it's getting there. You have all these celebrities saying, oh, yeah, I definitely watch anime. And now it's not seen as something that was super uncool. Like in high school, I would have gotten bullied for saying the stuff that people say now. But yeah, that's where I think we are now. And like I said, this is just my interpretation of anime eras. Let me go know what you guys think in the comments. What's up, everyone? I'm Drea, and welcome to another very opinionated review. This review was originally written in December of 2022. So my brother has been begging me to see Into the Spider-Verse for a very long time. But I've been putting it off. Why? Because the animation affects my seizure disorder. So we had to actually take very careful steps to make sure that I didn't have a seizure while watching the movie. And I didn't. I had one after. But that's beside the point. Quite frankly, it was worth it. And also, I don't recommend doing things that will trigger your seizures. That's bad. Don't do that. I'm a bad example. Also, my seizures aren't that bad. It's not that dangerous. So yeah, over Christmas, we watched the movie, and I gotta say, with no irony, this is the best Spider-Man movie. It's not my favorite, but it is the best. If you haven't seen the movie yet, what are you waiting for? It is an animation marvel. All of the characters are interesting. They handle the multiverse thing really, really well. And they honestly surprised me a few times. And yeah, this movie is pretty old right now, but I'm really good at avoiding spoilers, so I had no idea of the twist. In fact, I was saying the opposite of what the twist was going to be when the twist happened. So I really think that all fans of animation and good movies in general should see Into the Spider-Verse. Now, where can you watch it? It depends on the day. We watched it on YouTube because that's what was available, but it could be anywhere at any time with how streaming is these days. But I promise you, even if you have to search for it, it is definitely worth a watch. What's up, everyone? I'm Drea, and welcome to another very opinionated review. This review was originally written in December of 2022, just like the last one. So during Christmas, my brother finally got me to watch Arcane. Now, this was just one I wasn't interested in all, even though a lot of people were telling me that it's great. I don't know anything about League of Legends, so I had no interest in watching it. Also, I didn't really care for the animation style, and yeah, I'm kind of a weird person when it comes to animation. If I don't like how something looks, I just kind of won't watch it. But let me tell you, it is amazing. I was hooked from episode 1. This show is brilliant, devastating, depressing, and fantastic. And if you've seen it, you know how all of those things can go together. Now, trigger warning for photosensitive people and the mentally ill. I'm both, so it was a struggle. But honestly, this is one of the best things I have ever seen. And it really sits with you. I even had to wait a bit before writing this script. I really had to let things settle. It's a lot. But it's worth it. You can watch all 9 episodes of Arcane on Netflix. I can't wait for season 2, and I hope they don't cancel this like they cancel everything else. What's up, everyone? I'm Drea, and welcome to another very opinionated review. This review was originally written in December of 2022. So I want to briefly talk about Tokyo Mew Mew New. Last year, I kind of made a point to stop watching series that I just wasn't enjoying, and sadly, this was one of the first ones. After getting so many good reboots and legacy sequels lately, this one was a big letdown. And it only took 1 episode for the cracks to show. I've read this manga many, many times, not just the Tokyo Pop versions, but also the more accurate Kodansha versions. So this isn't a comparison to the anime, it's a comparison to the manga. And if you're gonna say that, of course the new anime would be different from the manga, Why? The whole point of a reboot like this should be to be the definitive version, like Fruits Basket 2019, or do the manga more accurately, like Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood. I'm just not sure why the anime turned out like this. Also, I hate to say this, but it looks like shit. And unlike quintessential quintuplets, which could also look really bad, the story does not make up for it. Speaking of the story, I don't really want to spoil it for those who haven't read the manga, but they make weird changes for seemingly no reason. I mean, maybe they gave a reason, but I wasn't going to stick around to find out. I've only seen 4 out of the 12 available episodes, and I'm not going to continue. That was the only anime I dropped last year. Honestly, if this series weren't based on something I was so familiar with, I would be kinder to it. Especially since I saw worse anime last year that I did finish. But Tokyo Mew Mew New was definitely the most disappointing one. And it's getting a season 2. If you want to watch season 1, it's on High Dive. I will not be joining you. What's up, everyone? I'm Drea, and welcome to another very opinionated review. So I've made it no secret that I think Sword Art Online is not good. From bad writing, to bad characters, to absolutely baffling choices. And I honestly just think it's a bad first anime for people. There's so many other good things to introduce people to anime. However, I keep watching basically everything from this universe. And that's mostly because I find the world building and a lot of the characters very interesting. If only this could be rewritten better, I said. And it was. With SAO abridged by Something Witty Entertainment, which I highly recommend. Find them on YouTube. But also, Reki Kawahara rewrote SAO too, so I decided I'd watch the Progressive movie that was coming out. And it came out like 2 years ago. I really dragged my feet when it came to watching this movie. And Crunchyroll kind of covertly dropped it onto the SAO tab, so I just decided to watch it one day. And quite frankly, this movie was fantastic. You don't necessarily have to have seen the first SAO to watch it, but it does help because a lot of characters that would be in the foreground are now in the background. And I really don't want to spoil anything on like the direction or anything like that. I will say that the movie is gorgeous, but quite frankly, SAO has always had pretty good animation, so that's no surprise. I just want to say, even if you're an SAO hater, give the movie a shot. It was a great watch. The characters are way better written, and I really enjoyed it. And you can watch the whole movie on Crunchyroll. Check it out. By the way, this movie is a part 1. What's up, everyone? I'm Drea, and welcome to another very opinionated review. So I just finished The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten, and I really liked it. I'm a big fan of slow burn romances like Kimi ni Todake, and this definitely scratched that itch. Now, like I said in a previous video, I'm not going to really comment on the animation. It's weak, but it's not distractingly weak. And like I said, animators are going through a lot, so I'm assuming they're doing the best they can. It looks fine. Basically, this one is about 2 high schoolers who live next door to each other, and they decide to start like sharing meals, and it's really cute and sweet, and it's very much a slow burn romance, and I think you kind of know that going in. It's not going to be like a Horimiya type romance, which is way better than this. I would recommend if you're going to watch a romance, watch Horimiya, but this is definitely still a pretty good romance. I will say I was a little bit disillusioned because one of my favorite AniTubers, Mother's Basement, put this in his hottest trash of winter 2023. And I don't think it's trash. I think it's a solid, probably 7 out of 10 romance. They're all just kind of like this, and that's fine if you're not into that, but I wouldn't call it trash. It's just really cute, really sweet. I like the characters. I will say that the ending, the very end, literally the last frame, let me down quite a bit. So that like drops my score down like a point. But I did really enjoy the series, and I do recommend it if you like slow burn romances. Just remember, it is 100% a slow burn romance. You can watch all 12 episodes of The Angel Next Door Spoils Me Rotten on Crunchyroll. What's up, y'all? Opinionated review. Let's just get going. So I just finished, like, just finished. What was the name of the show? Shit, The Magical Revolution of the Reincarnated Princess and the Genius Young Lady. And I gotta tell you, it's fantastic. Like, I'm at work right now and I'm trying hard to hold back the tears. It's that fantastic. And like I know the title says reincarnated princess, but yes, this is technically an isekai, but also they do not focus on that. The main reason why like they talk about her being reincarnated is because that is the catalyst for her loving magic so much. So basically, this one is about this princess who is like the only noble who is born without magic, which sucks. But she loves magic so much, she starts inventing things kind of based on what our modern technology would be. And people don't like that, so she actually ends up abdicating her right to the throne as the oldest. But that's, a whole nother story. You'll see it in the anime, which you should watch this. Also, lesbians. Yeah, they're in love. They're in love. They're in love. And I love this. I'm watching a lot of romance this season, and man, this one is great. And there's been a lot of good romance this season, to be to be honest. Gosh, I can't even talk. Like, this anime was so good. It was so good. I really recommend it. It's only 12 episodes long. Please watch The Magical Revolution of the Reincarnated Princess and the Genius Young Lady. It is fantastic. God, I loved it.
What's up, everyone? I'm Drea, and welcome to another very opinionated review. So let me say this right now. This is not a bad show. And I'm sorry, but I have to look at the title because it's just that weird. Endo and Kobayashi Live, the latest on tsundere villainous... I can't say it. It's a terrible name for the series, but it has a very unique premise. I thought this was gonna be Villainous Isekai 3, which I never did film the video for Villainous Isekais 1 and 2, so, it is what it is, but that's not what this series is. It's about a couple of school friends who become obsessed with a visual novel, specifically the villainess of that visual novel, who they absolutely adore and call a tsundere. But they wish they could ultimately change her fate. And then they suddenly realize that the main love interest in the game can hear them, and thinks that they're gods. And that's where I'll stop, because honestly, I do recommend the series. Honestly, it's very good, but at the time, I was watching 12 different anime, and I had to make some difficult choices, and this was one of them that I regret a little bit. And honestly, while the first few episodes were really good, I didn't have a strong desire to go back to it. Either way, it's going in my on hold list and my anime list, so I'll go back to it eventually. You can watch the whole series on High Dive. What's up, everyone? I'm Drea, and welcome to another very opinionated review. So this series was another casualty of me having to cut out a bunch of anime because I was watching just way too many and working my full-time job. Chilling into my 30s after being fired from the Demon Army is not a bad series, it's just a okay series. It just got a little bit boring, and they struggled to keep the horny in check. I don't know if they succeeded because I only watched about 3 episodes. The story is exactly what the title says, so I'm not going to go into it. It's just your basic fantasy that feels like an isekai, but isn't. And honestly, I don't find any of the characters super interesting, and the setting is very basic. I'm keeping it on my hold list, but for now it's just gonna stay at 3 episodes watched. I don't imagine I'll be going back to it anytime soon. You can watch Chillin' in My 30s After Being Fired from the Demon Army on Crunchyroll. What's up, everyone? I'm Drea, and welcome to another very opinionated review. Forgive my messy hair, I've been wearing a hat all day, and also I just got back from seeing Suzume. Now, surprisingly, I have never seen a Makoto Shinkai movie. I didn't see Your Name, I didn't see Weathering with You. And there's really no reason behind it, I just kind of missed seeing them, and back when those movies were coming out, I just feel like the showings of them were very limited. But I've been going to a lot of anime movies lately, and they showed the trailer for this one in front of every single one. The trailer really caught me. It was bright and colorful. The music was amazing. So I was like, I'm seeing this one. And let me tell you, from the very first frame, this movie was spectacular. The animation was stunning. The music, just absolutely stellar. The voice acting was great. Everything about this movie was fantastic. And that's literally all I can say about it, because if you haven't seen it yet, you should see it. You really should. If you're a fan of animation, if you're a fan of anime in general, please see this movie. It is fantastic. Just, that's all I can say. It's fantastic. I don't want to spoil anything because you should see it. Go see it. In fact, go buy a ticket right now. But first, listen to this next thing I say. So one thing that was interesting was I got there super early because I always get to movies early. I'm usually like the first one in the theater. And this little girl, and who I assumed was her mother, but I think it was actually her aunt, walked in and sat down. And I'm like, oh no, a kid in a movie. Man, they're gonna be annoying. But actually, no, they weren't. And here's the thing, I got to overhear some of their conversation, and I got to hear this adult actually take interest in what the girl was saying, and they were talking about different anime that they like, and it was so beautiful and wholesome that I almost started crying. And up until that point, I was actually very, very depressed before I went to the movie. And that kind of perked me up. I mean, the movie itself did. I was like eyes to the ground before I went to the movie, and now I'm back to being animated, and I think I'm gonna go wash my dishes. But yeah, it was just a great evening, a great experience, and I'm really glad that I saw this movie. I almost didn't, because internet's gonna internet, but this was a great movie. Please see it if you can. It's definitely worth the watch, and you'll come out of it with some amazing feelings. What's up, everyone? I'm Drea, and welcome to another very opinionated review. So, I just got back from the Mario movie. Now, I went into this expecting to hate it. I don't really like Illumination, and I thought this was going to be a terrible idea. But every trailer just got better and better, so I was like, you know what? I'll just take the leap. And how do I feel about the movie? It was really good. I expected this to be kind of like how I felt about Black Adam, where there were really good parts, but also really awful parts. But honestly, nothing in the movie was bad at all. It looks stunning, all the voice acting is great, and the story is just a very solid story. It's exactly what you'd expect, and that's fine. That's great. We already had a Mario movie where things didn't go how we expected it to go. Now, one thing I will say about the movie is that I expected to hate Peach. I thought they were going to go full girl boss on us, and I was not happy about that. I actually really like Peach, and I was expecting the movie to ruin her, but to be honest, they didn't. The issue with her is that she's just incredibly generic. She's so boring. But it doesn't really bog down the movie, so I don't know, to each their own. I really enjoyed everything about this movie, especially the music. Like, they took so much from the games. It was just a feast for the ears, and of course the animation is spectacular. Just the best an Illumination movie has ever looked. Not that they've ever had really bad animation, but this is just the highest quality I've seen from them, and I could not be happier that it went to this movie instead of, fucking Minions movie. I will say I wish I had gone to a different showing because I thought going at 4:30 in the afternoon would keep me from the child crowds, but it didn't. There were so many kids and they just wouldn't shut up. And if your kid's not old enough to be quiet in the movie theater, maybe don't bring them. But I don't have any kids, so you know how it is. Anyway, I really enjoyed the movie. I highly recommend seeing it in theaters if you can. I didn't see it on in like 3D or anything because I've had enough migraines. I just saw it in standard edition and it was very good. I really recommend the movie. See it if you haven't. It's still climbing and it's it's gonna earn way too much. We need to be careful with elimination. I mean that in all sincerity. I'm a little afraid of elimination right now.
What's up, nerds? I'm Drea, and welcome to another very opinionated review. So I was actually really excited when I saw the trailers for Ice Guy and his cool female colleague. Like I said with The Angel Next Door, I really like slow burn romances. The issue with this one is that it got boring very quickly. And when I say quickly, I mean after like 7 episodes. So this is a series set in a world where descendants of yokai live with normal humans. And that's just kind of a fact of life, I guess. Our main character is a descendant of an ice spirit who freezes anything whenever he gets emotional. And he starts to fall for his female colleague, who is a normal human. And that's it. And their office is also filled with other yokai descendants. Like, you'd think this would be a fairly fun and quirky kind of series. You've got a bunch of supernatural shit. But no, it got boring very fast. I don't know, I'll probably keep this in my hold list, but I ended up stopping watching it after only 7 episodes. If you're curious about this series that honestly had some interesting world building and a very cute and creative style, you can check out all 12 episodes on Crunchyroll. I'll go back to it one day, but not with the stacked amount of anime that I haven't even gotten to yet. What's up, everyone? I'm Drea, and welcome to another very opinionated review. It's crazy that it has taken me 10 full years to finally see The Heirs. If you didn't know, I'm a huge K-drama fan. So I don't know why it took me so long to see this one. It is very popular, so yeah, I guess better late than never. And I've been in love with Park Shin-ye since like You're Beautiful, and in love with Lee Min-ho since his Toyota Camry commercial. That is a true story. If you haven't seen those commercials, look them up. They're kind of hilarious. And this was a great show for them. Sometimes it seems like every K-drama is about the same thing. It's just rich people being jerks. And honestly, this is no exception. However, instead of our main guy, Lee Min-ho, being a lovable jerk, he's more of a kid with a heart of gold who's just been in some bad situations. And it's honestly kind of refreshing because he's not really a jerk to Park Shin-ye, like, at all. And I'm used to stuff with Jung Kun-suk, who is a jerk all the time, who I also love. I guess I'm fine whether they're a jerk or not. And Park Shin-ye in this is so gorgeous. Like, her hair is so pretty. Like, I don't know why that's the part that I'm obsessed with, but I was obsessed with her hair through the whole series. This one is really, really good. It's got some laugh out loud moments. I was crying like the last 5 episodes. It's a really great show. It's got people to love, people to hate, lots of people to hate in a good way. Hate in a good way? K-dramas for you. If you haven't seen Airs, I really recommend you do see it. You can see it on Viki. I think that's really the only place. Right now, Viki kind of has a monopoly on dramas. Unless you're talking about the ones on Netflix, but I literally don't watch any of them. Anyway, check this one out if you haven't, but if you're a K-drama fan, you probably have. What's up, everyone? I'm Drea, and welcome to another very opinionated review. So it took me a while because I was watching it dubbed because of my brother, but I did finish Buddy Daddies. First things first, if you liked Spy Family, you're gonna like this. It's not the same thing as Spy Family. Like, don't get it twisted. I do think Spy Family is probably a better put together show, but I really did like Buddy Daddies. And quite frankly, it probably wouldn't have even happened if it weren't for Spy Family. At least it wouldn't have come out as soon as it did. So, this show is basically about these two assassins who have to raise a 4 year old. And that's all you need to know right now. Anything else you can see in the show, which you should see in the show because it's a fantastic show. The OP is great, the ED is great, the animation is great, everything's great, the voice acting in both languages is good. Like I said, I watched this in English and it's a really good dub. Now, some people say that Needy, the 4 year old girl, is too annoying. And then I'm like, have you met a 4 year old girl? Of course she's annoying. She's a 4 year old girl. But that doesn't mean she's not lovable, because she is. There's also a lot of gunplay in this, and the choreography for some of this is better than some shonen stuff that's been coming out lately. I really do recommend this series to basically everyone. Like I said, if you like Spy Family, you're gonna like this. You can watch all 12 episodes of Buddy Daddies on Crunchyroll, subbed and dubbed.
What's up, nerds? I'm Drea, and welcome to another very opinionated review. So I did finally finish Farming Life in Another World. And it's absolutely delightful. It's about this guy who dies and is reincarnated into an RPG world. I mean, it's an isekai, what do you expect? The only wish he has is to have a nice farming life, and a very kind god takes pity on him and gives him an very OP special gardening tool that he can use without losing stamina, and he makes a garden and stuff. And that garden turns into a farm, and that farm turns into a village fairly quickly. You'll find this out in episode 1, like basically in the first 5 minutes, but this is a harem. And honestly, a very good one. I always think that harem series have kind of like passed their prime, but then I get series like, I don't know, ReZero and series like Quintessential Quintuplets, and I'm like, the genre is not dead. Yay. And it's also very wholesome. Like, very, very wholesome. You've got different girls of different races just randomly showing up at the village and, you know, hijinks ensue, but it's all very non-pervy. Basically, the series is just some really good fun. I really enjoy the chill nature of this series, and it was great watching the village grow after each episode. And they actually show you kind of like the layout of the village and see it growing. It's pretty cool. I highly recommend this series. It's like one of those anime that you watch when you kind of want to relax, but you also want to laugh. There are lots of laughs. You can watch all 12 episodes of Farming Life in Another World on High Dive. What's up, everyone? I'm Drea, and welcome to another very opinionated review that I forgot to film yesterday. So, as you can see from the poster behind me, I went to see Guardians of the Galaxy 3 yesterday. And I kind of went into this like I go into most superhero movies these days. I thought it was gonna suck. And I was wrong. It was great. Something about the Guardians of the Galaxy movies is that they don't really try as hard as other MCU movies, which sounds a little weird, but like, you have the first one, which is a fun movie, the second one that I don't remember, which was also kind of fun and heartfelt, and then you have the third one, which is also fun and heartfelt. They kind of sit at all basically the same level, even though the first one I will watch anytime, no matter what. So yeah, everyone came off great in this movie. They did fake me out, which I appreciate. I love kind of deceptive trailers and deceptive interviews when it comes to the MCU, because, you know, it always, you know, leaves me wanting more of this. Like, keep doing this, which they won't because James Gunn is gone. And my opinion on that will stay my opinion. But yeah, see the movie if you haven't. It's really good. I did not see it in 3D. They were just giving these out at the theater, and I was like, okay, cool, free poster. I love posters. So I just saw it in like standard, and it was great, and I highly recommend it. So yeah, go see it. You can see it in theaters now.
What's up, everyone? I'm Drea, and welcome to another very opinionated review. I know I'm 2 months late, but I did finally finish Tomo-chan is a Girl. And oh my god, what a great rom-com. It's just so fun and so sincere. Like that's the only thing I can think of to describe it. It's just a sincere, fun comedy. And I highly recommend it. I feel like this is gonna be, it should be one of the great rom-coms. Honestly, I think it's that good. Does it have flaws? Of course, there's nothing perfect, but who cares about those when you're having fun? I love all the characters, especially Carol. Oh man, if I could pull it off, I would cosplay as Carol, but I don't think I can pull off blonde hair very easily. If you don't know about the series, it's basically this high school girl named Tomo who is masculine in almost every way, and she is in love with her best friend who also trains at her family's karate dojo. And hijinks ensue. It's super fun. It's just a fun series. And if you haven't seen it, just just go watch it. Don't watch it dubbed though. The dub sucks. But subbed, hilarious. You won't be disappointed. You can watch all 13 episodes of Tomo-chan is a Girl on Crunchyroll. What's up, everyone? I'm Drea, and welcome to another very opinionated review. So, back in the early aughts, I'm pretty sure any anime fan my age had a time where they were obsessed with the melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya. Even to this day, it is one of my favorite anime, and I will turn on almost any episode except for Someday in the Rain. That episode kinda sucks. But one show in the series that I kind of missed out on seeing because it was just really hard to find for some reason was The Disappearance of Nagato Yuki-chan. Now, there's a movie called The Disappearance of Haruhi Suzumiya, which takes place directly after the last episode of the anime. And I love that movie. I watch it every Christmas. And there's a part in that movie where you kind of go to an alternate universe. And so this series kind of takes place in that alternate universe. It's kind of confusing, but alternate universe stuff is always confusing. So who cares, honestly? But because of the Crunchyroll Funimation merger, I'm finally able to see that series. And I finished it, I think, last week, but I kind of forgot to make this video. And I absolutely loved it. As someone who has been itching for more Haruhi Suzumiya and who also knows it's probably not going to happen because of, the Endless Eight debacle, this was a welcome series. I absolutely loved it. This version of Nagato is just so cute, especially the way she talks about math. I feel like I know people like this. Like, this is great. It's basically just another season of The Melancholy of Haruhi Suzumiya, but without most of the supernatural stuff. I say most of because spoilers. If you haven't seen it, I really do recommend it. It's different, but also more of the same. And if you've seen the original series and season 2, you'll just see a lot of callbacks, and it's very nice to see them and see all these characters again. Also, everyone from the original English dub was back for that, and it's just a great series to watch. So if you haven't seen it, you can watch all, I think there's like 20 or so episodes on Crunchyroll. It's fantastic. Please watch it.